When Dune 2 came out, I made a video explaining why Dune is a fundamentally conservative story about faith and tradition and heritage. But the comment section was just swarmed with leftists saying, sweetie, I think you missed the point. Dune is anti-imperialism, therefore, it's actually a leftist story. And I would say, well, I'm conservative and I'm anti-imperialist. And they would say, nothing, because their heads exploded because they still think that conservative means George Bush spreading democracy by bombing Middle Eastern villagers.
The decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of Ukraine. Iraq, anyway.
Seriously though, why is it leftist to be against imperialism? Sorry, I don't want to be ruled by some foreign empire. If I was a Fremen warrior, I would absolutely join the Holy War to drive out the invaders. That's not leftism, that's patriotism. If I was an Irish Catholic during the Troubles, I would 100% join the IRA to drive out the Brits.
I was born in the Dublin streets where the loyal drums do beat and the loving English beat walked all over us, where each and every night when my dad would come home tight, he'd call the neighbours out with this chorus. Come out you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your white value and medals down in Flanders. Show her how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lanes of Killashandra.
Now, I'm not one of these people who says that the British Empire or the conquistadors or Christopher Columbus were totally evil and oppressive. I'm also not going to pretend that the European empires were uniquely bad. The Islamic Empire was way worse. The Japanese Empire was unbelievably cruel. Same with the Aztec Empire. The people they were sacrificing on their ziggurats were prisoners of war from the tribes they conquered. They were so cruel that those other tribes actually helped the conquistadors destroy the Aztecs. But that kind of proves my point, doesn't it? Empires always abuse the people they conquer. The Christian European empires weren't as bad, but it's still human nature. We will never treat a foreign people as well as we would treat our own countrymen. I believe that nations are more than just abstract political structures. America is not just an idea. We are a unique culture and people and heritage. So some empire with a completely different culture and heritage can never fully understand us and our needs and our wants and our national character. Mr. Z has been talking a lot recently about UTAHISM as an antidote to globalism.
Mr. Z thought, or Monsieur Z thought, if I had to give it another name, I would dare call it UTAHISM, because Utah has sort of been a big factor in inspiring this idea of what we could have for all the other nations in America.
He says that Utah is the ideal state because everything about its government and its infrastructure and its laws is perfectly tailored to the people who live there, to the culture. That's exactly why I don't like imperialism. Some global government or some vast empire can never pull that off. We need a government that is local, that is made up of our people, who know our needs and our character and can tailor the nation to us. Let me read you a passage about the Portuguese Empire in India. Children were flogged and slowly dismembered in front of their parents, whose eyelids had been sliced off to make sure they missed nothing. Extremities were amputated carefully so that a person could remain conscious even when all that remained was a torso and head. Male genitals were removed and burned in front of their wives, breasts hacked off, and was penetrated by swords while husbands were forced to watch. The Roman Empire was cool, but they were also cruel and cold and bloodthirsty. I mean, just look how they treated Christians. Go read about how the Romans tortured their enemies. It's not pretty. These based, Europa-pilled edits always use images of the Roman Empire, the British Empire, and Mussolini. The message is that imperialism is the peak of European excellence. After all, if you love your country, you want it to become a one-world empire, right? No! I want my nation and my people to be free. That's why America fought the Revolutionary War. The Founding Fathers knew that some empire across the sea cannot properly govern us and will inevitably abuse us. This is really just common sense. If your rulers are from a totally different culture, they can't identify with you. You're just a foreigner to them. That's why, as much as colonialism spread Christianity and did some good things, there was a lot of abuse and backstabbing and cruelty. America abused the natives. That is just a fact. If you're going to deny that, then you're just a simp for Andrew Jackson. You're just a little slut for Old Hickory. Imperialism is doomed to fail because you can never fully understand a foreign nation. Look what happened to Afghanistan. Our neoliberal globalist empire tried to turn this ancient Islamic nation into a modern Western liberal democracy. It was a catastrophic failure. It's artificial. It's stupid. And as soon as America left, Afghanistan went right back to its natural state. The Taliban took right back over. We accomplished absolutely nothing.
Now, the newly equipped Taliban wants to turn its insurgent forces into a modern standing army. Wearing elite combat gear, 150 Taliban commandos took part in a graduation ceremony on January 12th.
America used to be an isolationist superpower. We stayed out of wars, we focused on building up ourselves. When a country starts trying to control other countries and manage the world, it fails to protect what matters right here at home. Why did America invade the Middle East? The story is that our American empire is invading third world countries out of a grand, noble desire to spread democracy and civilization. But I think we all see through that. The real reason we invaded Iraq and Afghanistan was that certain very evil, very powerful lobbies and special interest groups wanted to. Because it advanced the careers of certain very powerful people, and because Dick Cheney was the CEO of Halliburton, which made billions of dollars off the oil. In other words, imperialism truly serves the merchant class, the financial elites. The same was true of the British Empire. There were many good-hearted Englishmen who served the empire out of a genuine desire to spread Christendom, but the driving force was the London bankers and the East India Company, who made a lot of money when the empire expanded and extracted resources from the colonies and built the global trade routes. Even Adam Smith was like, wait, why is Britain wasting her money to build armies and colonies on the other side of the world? Just like in today's American empire, millions of young men shed their blood in foreign wars to make a profit for the bankers and the merchants. In The Four Loves, C.S. Lewis described patriotism as one of the purest forms of love. The simple love of home, of the place where you grew up, of your own culture. He writes that true patriotism is not in the least aggressive. It asks only to be left alone. It becomes militant only to protect what it loves. In any mind which has a pennyworth of imagination, it produces a good attitude towards foreigners. How can I love my home without coming to realize that others, no less rightly, love theirs? Once you have realized that the Frenchmen love café complet just as much as we love bacon and eggs, why, good luck to them and let them have it. The last thing we want is to make everywhere else just like our home. It would not be home unless it were different. That's the key. Imperialism seeks to turn the whole world into one identical gray mass ruled by a one-world government. When the English colonized India, they built English-style homes and spread English-style culture. They made English the official language of administration. Now, I love English culture, but when you impose it on India, you erase the ancient, beautiful, and unique culture of the Indians. But Arthur, some cultures are better than others.
Some cultures are clearly better than other cultures.
Can't you see that's the exact same logic that led to globalism? It's this very utilitarian way of thinking. Just figure out the most optimal culture and impose it on everyone, regardless of tradition and uniqueness and beauty. I mean, sure, if one culture has child slavery, get rid of that. But if different cultures have different traditions in food and clothing, well, I say God bless them. Have you ever heard the tragedy of the Irish wolves? It's not a story the Tans would tell you. The Irish wolves lived in Ireland for tens of thousands of years. They were an integral part of Irish stories and myths. Irish lads used to keep wolves as pets. The Irish word for wolf was Moch Tír, son of the land. But the English Empire didn't care about all that tradition and heritage. They didn't like the wolves, so the English Empire began a systematic campaign of extinction. They wiped them out. The last Irish wolf was killed in 1786 on the edge of a stream on the Carlow-Wexford border. Say what you will about car bombs and illegal guns, Ireland should not be ruled by the British. Ireland should be ruled by the Irish. St. Augustine said that a nation which tries to become an empire loses its soul. He said it's foolish to glory in the greatness and extent of the empire, because we cannot truly be happy if we are always rolling with dark fear and cruel lust, in warlike slaughters and in blood, which whether shed in civil or foreign war, is still human blood. He compared the imperialist nation to a rich man, who can't enjoy his riches because he's always anxious that he'll lose it, and always coveting more riches and fighting off his enemies. The nation that keeps to itself, however, he compared to a man of moderate wealth, contented with a small and compact estate, enjoying the sweetest peace with his kindred friends and neighbors. That's what I want for America, that's what I want for Europe, that's what I want for the world. Peace, independence, tradition. England for the English, Ireland for the Irish, India for the Indians, Iraq for the Iraqis. We'll see you next time. God bless America.
Come out, you British Huns, come out and fight without your guns. Should your white value won medals up in Derry. You're murdered by your men and you do the same again. So get out of here and take your bloody army. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your white value won medals down in Flanders. Show where how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lanes of Killashandra.
These are exciting times. The channel is growing. People are waking up. The masses are becoming Arthur Greenwood pilled. But we still have a long way to go. My last channel was demonetized, and they might do the exact same thing to this one. So, if you like what I do and you want to help me out, if you want to help my channel grow, there are 4 things you can do. 1. Leave a comment. Just say anything, literally anything, and that will be a huge help for the algorithm. 2. Send the video to a friend. I know you have some normie friend who needs to hear this. 4, most importantly, consider joining my Patreon. You'll get access to the Arthur Greenwood archive, where you can watch my really controversial videos that I can't put on YouTube, including my really old videos from when I was like a democratic Vaushite socialist. There's even the hour-long debate I had about anarcho-capitalism. You'll also get to join our members-only Discord server where you can talk with me and the boys about life and politics and history. It's a great time. We have weekly phone calls, and I have genuinely become really good friends with some of the guys in the server. Because we have to stick together, you know? It's rough out there. We need networks of highly disciplined, highly intelligent men. If you want to join my network, all it costs is $1 a month. That adds up to $12 a year, which is nothing. That's less than an hour of work. And in exchange, you get to be my friend forever.